Well, isn't it just delightful to witness Indiana Jones transformed into a pitiful, helpless old man who can't even tie his own shoelaces, all while his oh-so-enlightened feminist goddaughter swoops in to save the day? Ah, the marvels of contemporary Hollywood storytelling never cease to amaze. First off, Crystal Skull was unnecessary and a bad movie that took Indy uncomfortably out of his element. Now a woke film that deconstructs him all to set up a female replacement is even more unnecessary nor wanted. This month, on the 30th of June, Disney and Lucasfilm are scheduled to release the fifth film in the very old popular Indiana Jones franchise. It cannot help but be a bad movie. The film, it's not being made for the purpose of fun, enjoyment, or artistry. It's being made to tear down a remarkable and esteemed old-time hero and preach about the strive for social justice. Indiana Jones being portrayed as a feeble, reliant old man in dire need of rescuing by his patronizing feminist goddaughter seems to be the sorry state of affairs in today's Hollywood films.
What are you doing here?
Rescuing you!
Much to the dismay of the audience. And Disney obviously wants to milk the Indiana Jones franchise. I mean, judging by the way Disney mauled the Star Wars and Marvel franchises, with the myopic agenda and identity politics. We are yet getting another movie with a female character taking over from a male character, like any other Marvel movie and TV series we get. Feels like the movie industry is trying to force female characters into traditionally male roles in order to make a political statement. I and many others have nothing but a sense of dread for Disney's impending woke and deconstructed Indiana Jones movie. They are going to use this film to name Phoebe Waller-Bridge's annoying and awful character as Indiana Jones's successor. So expect Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena to pick up both the whip and Harrison Ford's hat, becoming the new, better, and self-sufficient Indiana Jones. Oh, what a splendid notion it is that Indiana Jones has become so geriatric that his trusty whip has become nothing more than a decorative relic, collecting dust while he yearns for his days of youthful adventuring. How utterly riveting to witness our iconic hero reduced to a mere antiquity in need of a walking stick rather than a whip-cracking savior. It's been 15 years since the last movie. The franchise started in 1981, right after the success of Star Wars, and Ford was still in his 30s. But now he's 80. His first three films in the Indiana Jones franchise, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade, were all very successful. However, the fourth movie, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, did not fare as well. The fourth film, 2008's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, is often regarded as a massive disappointment to fans of the franchise, with jokes and memes on the internet still dedicated to its poorly conceived plot, contrived writing, and failure to recapture the magic of the original trilogy. Unfortunately, it looks like the fifth film may be following in Crystal Skull's footsteps. Indiana Jones 5, officially titled Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, is almost upon us. And for months, rumors were swirling from industry insiders about Disney's recent test screenings of James Mangold's Indiana Jones 5. Supposedly, a handful of different endings have been tested, and audiences haven't liked any of them. Furthermore, the rumors indicate that Disney is in a panic over the screenings and that they're worried the movie will bomb. But with the release of the new trailer, seems like Disney has finally decided to take out the hot garbage out to public, delaying the movie's release numerous times in attempts to rewrite and reshooting most scenes to avoid a looming disaster seem to have failed. Indiana Jones 5 is set to debut in theaters this month, though fans shouldn't expect much from the legacy sequel according to early reviews. Film score aggregates such as Rotten Tomatoes have given The Dial of Destiny overwhelmingly negative reviews, resulting in a 49% rotten score on the tomato meter, the worst of any film in the franchise. These reactions come to us around the same time when we have been hearing rumors of Indiana Jones 5 being the costliest film ever to be produced by Lucasfilm, bearing a price tag of $294.7 million, making it Lucasfilm's most expensive movie ever, costing more to make than any of the films in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. But it doesn't look like the studio is going to profit from this film, since it's not worth the hype. Thanks to the slightly baffling move by Disney to let the movie get an out-of-competition screening at Cannes this year. Bad idea. Indiana Jones 5 is now stuck with an early crop of bad reviews for more than a month, having earned itself a rotten status so far on Rotten Tomatoes. Indiana Jones 5 did not get the response from its Cannes premiere that Disney was hoping for. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has a 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. For comparison, these are the Rotten Tomatoes scores of past Indiana Jones films. Raiders of the Lost Ark, 93%. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 76% Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, 84% Indiana Jones and The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, 77%. The film is mostly set in 1969. The Apollo 11 moon landing gets a major shout-out. Indy is shirtless and in boxers, snoozing and clutching the dregs of a beer. This is a movie about regrets and getting old. After all, they have found a way to de-age him for the sake of the movie, because the man is too old, and his stunt double has to do most of the work. His digital facelift may look fine in photos, but when it comes to motion and delivering lines of dialogue in the film, seems like there's no life behind young Indy's face.
And then I put little balls on my face and I say the words. And then they take that part and they stick it in that part. And
how did it make you feel?
Made me feel old.
Indy is now about to retire from a dispiriting teaching job in New York. There is no sign of the wife and son he had at the end of The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and we are expected to shut up about it and watch. No one needs to ask question or be informed. Who needs consistency or coherent storytelling anyway? Not as long as he's still wearing the ring, so let's just passively consume the movie and swiftly retreat to our humble abodes, scurry back home like good little sheep. What a splendid experience awaits us. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is playing Helena Shaw, Basil's now adult daughter, and Indy's archaeologist goddaughter. She's quite possibly one of the most annoying characters put to screen. I wouldn't be surprised if she wrote her own lines, but she still falls short of the supreme annoyance achieved by the renowned Brie Larson and Daisy Ridley. But hey, let's not get too hung up on that.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Moving on. It's a Disney film, so she's perfect. Her job is going to be simple throughout the film. She is going to constantly lecture Indy about being a man and his male privileges. Outshines him, prove to be more superior, and in the end, she's going to be the reincarnation of Indiana Jones. Having a very old leading man, digitally de-aged for flashbacks, means that more of the movie will be in the hands of his goddaughter, and Indy will be the devoted sidekick who needs rescuing. Well, second sidekick, because she already has her own kid sidekick. I'm sure this is going to be the first action sequence of the movie, as the goodies and baddies are chasing each other through the usual caverns, temples, and dusty marketplaces of the Mediterranean basin, and then the rushed, fast-paced adventure begins. This pretentious, overblown flick merely goes through the motions without a hint of enjoyment, despite John Williams's desperate attempts to manipulate our nostalgia and convince us we're in for an exhilarating thrill. Instead of a triumphant farewell to our beloved hero, we're slapped with a bleak reminder of how much more vibrant his past escapades were. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is not just a colossal waste of time, but also a painful testament to the fact that some artifacts are better off left untouched. The only silver lining is that it's marginally less abysmal than Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Unfortunately, that's not saying much. It's a shame that this movie couldn't do justice to the legacy of Indiana Jones, and his fans deserve better. If you're looking for a nostalgic throwback, don't waste your time on this film. Go rewatch Raiders of the Lost Ark instead. The Hollywood of today mostly maniacally rehashes what it's already done. It envisions a future where what's on offer is mostly what we've already had before, but with a better female lead or a sprinkle of diversity and race swaps. These guys will never learn. They want to lose money, and they don't care. I mean, nobody under the age of 55 has any attachment to Indiana Jones. Those that do don't want to see a woke feminist adaptation. Disney hopes to profit from this film and to find ways to milk down the franchise, the same way they did with the Star Wars franchise, with movies and TV series that nobody wants and nobody likes. The same method is going to be used in this franchise, and they have already started as they have teased a potential spin-off, a Disney Plus series that could star the likes of this unlikable character, Helena Shaw. No fears on that front, Helena. Dial of Destiny is sure to do boffo box office for its nostalgia value alone. I have the utmost faith in this movie. It's bound to be a cinematic masterpiece. Just like every other Disney and Lucasfilm movie, I'll be sure to set my expectations accordingly low, so I don't disappoint myself too much when it turns out to be just another mediocre film. So, just like Disney Star Wars and what is now happening with Kevin Feige's Marvel, Indiana Jones 5 could be next to turn to dust as well. This is a bomb just waiting to explode in theaters that will forever tarnish the brand and ruin Indiana Jones. I don't have high hopes for this movie, but I'll give it a chance. Then again, I try to avoid having high hopes for a movie in general in this day and age. If I get too worked up, no movie can meet that standard. If I go expecting less, then an average movie will be enjoyable because even a mediocre film will feel like a triumph these days, just like the usual offerings from Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm. How exciting!